Hello, everybody. This is AG here, and welcome to the Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia, for the fifth race of the season here in the 2023 Haas IndyCar Series, and finally, the second oval race of the season. We came off of 3 straight road courses, and now we're back on the oval, but albeit this is the shortest oval of the season, so we still have the road course configuration on these cars. And it's going to be a fascinating race here tonight. 83 laps, even though that seems like a long time. 17, 18-second lap times around this 3/4 of a mile racetrack in the capital of Virginia. Going to be out of here rather quick. We'll also have a cycle of pit stops just past halfway. It's going to be a fast race, and it's going to be a fun race. And join alongside Micah Knapp once again for the call here in the Haas IndyCar Series. And Micah, we've had 3 straight road courses coming into this race. Everything that we saw on those road courses, pretty much throw it out the window here because the oval tracks run so much differently. If we get a wreck, we do have a caution. We could see restarts here tonight. What's the difference in the strategy here on this oval race compared to how the road course races have been the past 3 races?
Going to be a little bit different from the previous couple races. The field's not going to get as strung out. These guys are going to be crammed together on this 3/4 mile racetrack, so I think these drivers are going to have to be a little bit more patient and try to just make it to the end.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. We could see some attrition here tonight. That is definitely a possibility, and like I mentioned, if we do get a wreck, the caution will come out. So the first time we've actually had cautions on in an IndyCar race since California, about a month and a half ago. But it should be a great race here tonight. 83 laps of action under the lights this year. We have this race during the daytime in 2022, but back under the lights here on this Monday night, and excited to see how it all goes down as we got the 26 full-time drivers here ready to do some racing here around this 3/4 of a mile racetrack. Given the point standings, everything crunched together at COTA 2 weeks ago. Chris Reynolds finished dead last in that race, but still holds on to the points lead by only 2 points ahead of Aaron Abel, who finished second at Circuit of the Americas. Justin Zaidel, 5 points behind coming into this race. A great season for the California 100 race winner. And then Luna Lona, 10 points behind. John Andrews could have come into this race the points leader if he did not get wrecked out by Caleb Rose there in Firestone, Indy, Texas. He comes into this race 11 points behind. But we're a quarter of the way through the season now, and only 12 races remain until we crown a champion in Pocono in August, and it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers stack up in the point standings as the season goes along, because we have so many different types of racetracks coming up on the schedule, a lot of road courses, and of course, the Indianapolis 250 coming up at the end of May. But tonight, it's the Virginia 100K, and Trey Smith in the number 79 will lead us off for Otter Island Motorsports. It was a sweep for Otter Island Motorsports for the front row in qualifying last night, as Chris Reynolds takes the second fastest time in qualifying. Row number 2, Eric Drew and Aaron Abel, 2 drivers who were very strong at Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago. We'll see if they find some strength here on the oval. Angel Oliveira, Roy Ribbleton there in row number 3. We have Zachary Fitzwater there in the 81, and the 25 at John Stewart, Christian Vargas, and Landon Smith Jr. there make up the top 10 starting positions. Of course, we had single car qualifying last night with some groups, so these guys did their fast times all by themselves, essentially. But it's going to be interesting to see how these guys race in a pack, because these guys are going to be right on each other considering how small this racetrack is. We'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here. Make sure all 26 of these drivers, in fact, roll off, and it looks like everyone's good to go. So, Micah, this is a very interesting racetrack, and with it being an oval, we could see a lot more passing here tonight than what we have seen in the last 3 races on the road courses. Who do you think is going to go to victory lane here in the Virginia 100K?
I'm going to go with John Andrews. I think he got robbed last week, and he's going to want redemption, and he is hungry.
Absolutely, and that number 21 machine starting kind of midway through the field right there. Almost got that win at COTA and got wrecked out by Caleb Rose near the end. And I'm sure he's upset about it. Same with Caleb Rose. They're going to both be hungry drivers here tonight, along with the other 24 drivers, including Trey Smith, who leads us to the green flag, and we're underway in the capital city. Look at this, side by side on lap 1. Trey Smith will get the first lap led and a bonus point towards the championship for him right there. But Eric Drew, who had a very strong outing in COTA 2 weeks ago, finished, I believe, in the 3rd position for that race after leading a couple of laps, is going to finally clear Trey Smith for the top position on lap 2.
Yeah, that was great driving by Drew. Never let Smith truly get to the bottom, and his car slid up the track. And now these two have made a 2 or 3 car length gap over the rest of the field. Running single file here tonight is going to allow you to pull away because you're not wasting time battling and running side by side.
Well, these guys may waste a little time battling as Trey Smith trying to move to the inside of Eric Drew as Christian Vargas here on Angel Oliveira, and Trey Smith trying to peek a nose to the inside of Eric Drew. That is Trey Smith's old ride from last year as well, so no surprise to see it run well here with Eric Drew here tonight. How about Justin Seidel here inside the top 5? Won the first oval race of the season at California, and here he is moving to the inside of Angel Oliveira as back for the race lead. Trey Smith here on Eric Drew. He's got a nose, and he's going to try to take it away. He may lead this lap right here. It's a tight one, but I think Trey Smith got him at the line. He did.
He's going to clear him going off into 179 is a rocket ship tonight.
Absolutely. Here comes Roy Ribbleton. Could have another rocket ship on our hands here with this 33 machine for Dutch Atlantis Racing. Frank Chilton, the owner of this team. Of course, Ace Garcia's kind of falling back a little bit, but Roy Ribbleton needs a good run here tonight. He's 25th in the points standings coming into this race. Right where he is running right now, he would more than double, or now he wouldn't quite double. Yeah, now he would double the amount of points that he already has as he moves up to the 3rd position here. And Justin Seidel closing in here on Trey Smith for the race lead. Now, could see ourselves a cycle of green flag pit stops here tonight in this Virginia 100K if we go caution-free. Of course, just past halfway is the fuel run, and it'll be interesting to see how that affects the race as we go along. So I'm sure these guys are thinking about tires, thinking about fuel. That could definitely determine who gets the race victory as we go along. But how about Roy Ribbleton here? He's not thinking about that right now as he's going to the inside for 2nd on Seidel. And now he's going to have his eyes set on Trey Smith for this race lead.
Yeah, and Ribbleton still looking to the inside, going down into turn 1. Notice the 79 not running as low as some of these other guys, and the low side looks to be the preferred line here tonight. As you see what I'm talking about there, 79 just up the track slightly, and that's going to let Ribbleton possibly get to the inside here going into 1.
And he's going to have a shot right here for the race lead. And already our 3rd lead change of the night on lap 11 of 83, and Roy Ribbleton takes it away. I'm going to focus a little bit further back and see who's coming up through the field. There's Thomas Troxel, top 10 run for him right now. Luna Lona in the 00. She's moving her way to the inside there. Thomas Troxel a little bit ahead of her there. Caleb Rose on the outside lane. He was running top 10, but he's now losing some ground as Bradley Bradshaw and his teammate Logan Williams, who started dead last in this race, moving their way up into the top half of the field. Fitzwater, Tanner Parton on this inside. Take a look and see where Jay Knapp is, and NS Racing not looking too good right now. As Jay Knapp is at the back of the field as someone's blowing an engine. Oh no! Christian Master, and again another issue for the 55. He wrecked out at COTA 2 weeks ago, and it looks like it's going to be another DNF for the Dracoan Racing Enterprises driver. That is such a heartbreak for him right there. Not off to a good season there for Christian Master. Of course, a past Indianapolis 250 winner. Not looking too good at the moment for Christian Master this season. He came into this race 18th in points, and he's going to fall even further in the championship after that one. Trey Smith and Justice Seidel battling there for 2nd, and then Eric Drew and Angel Oliveira there for 4th. But it's starting to settle down a little bit up front here as Roy Ribbleton leads the Virginia 100K.
Yeah, and you see the top 5 or 6 really strung out now. It's just the power of running on your own, not in a pack where you're side by side constantly battling.
There's these guys still trying to figure it out back in here. Luna Lona now getting shuffled to the outside, and Caleb Rose couldn't find a hold of the inside, and he's falling back outside the top 20 now. Not a good run there for the driver of the number 3 for Trackhouse Racing. You got Landon Smith Jr. back in here, Ace Garcia, Sam Medea with a pretty poor run. Actually, I take that back. Caleb Rose is still, in fact, inside the top 20 as he is 17th. One guy who's not top 20 is this driver, Chris Reynolds, who won 2 races in a row at Riverside and Willow Springs. comes into this race the points leader. Well, he's not going to hold on to the points lead the way he's running right now, especially with Zaidel running inside the top 3. Your pick to win, John Anders. Now, these guys got held up a little bit there by Christian Master, but no caution came out for it, and now they've got some ground to work up if they want to have a shot at getting a good run here tonight. Roy Ribbleton continues to lead. Then you got Trey Smith, Justin Zaidel, Angel Oliveira, and Eric Drew. Troxel there in the 7th position. How about Logan Williams in the 38? Like I mentioned, started dead last in this race. He's now up to 7th. Fitzwater is 8th. He needs a good run after wrecking on the first lap at Coda as well. Comes into this race dead last in points, only 24 total points on the season for him. And Bradley Bradshaw, he had a good run at Coda and Firestone, Indy, Texas, and he's to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater there for the 8th position.
And we're getting to the point in the race now as, I thought there might have been a pass going on there, but not quite. We're getting to the point now where the leaders are approaching lap traffic, so those guys in the back are going to start to get more and more desperate to stay on the lead lap, hoping to catch a caution and maybe reset their race.
Because these guys, they might not catch it. You got Ribbleton coming out of turn number 4 right now, and J-Nap just now entering turn number 3. The shorter field, I think, benefits the leaders a little bit. They don't have to worry about lap traffic as much. However, if we go through a green flag cycle of pit stops in this race, then it's definitely going to come into effect on how it all goes down in terms of the lap traffic, because some guys are definitely going to fall off the pace a little bit, and it could get in the way of our race leaders, and the race could get rather interesting. Of course, this race last year went caution-free when Elijah Gordon went to victory lane, and knock on wood right now, we've been caution-free so far here tonight. Zaidel battling here with Angel Olvera. That's for the 3rd position. Troxel now up to 5th. I'd watch out for Troxel. He's a good short-track racer no matter what he's driving. And here he is running in the 5th position for Crown Ultra Racing. Eric Drew there in the 6th position. And Logan Williams, John Stewart, another driver looking pretty fast here. How about Noah Clifton inside the top 10? We got Cole Raymond, our last winner here, moving his way inside the top 10 as well. So many passes being made across the entire racetrack. But up front, Ribbleton's kind of holding his ground. He's got a 2nd lead right now on Trey Smith.
Yeah, Ribbleton with a rocket ship tonight. And to your point, you said he was pretty low in the points after a dismal start to the season. Well, this would be a way to get his season turned around and back on the right track.
Absolutely. Trey Smith, I'm sure he'd love to get a good run here tonight as well. Of course, almost won the championship last year in the Haas IndyCar Series, but Brian Rodriguez came in right at the end and stole it away from him after the very strong start to the season he had last year. Won 3 races, including the Indianapolis 250, and we really all thought Trey Smith was going to win it once Zachary Fitzwater started to fall back. But Brian Rodriguez had other plans. Well, Rodriguez is not in the series this year, and Trey Smith knows that, but he didn't get off to as good of a start this season as he did last year. We'll have to see what he can do as this race goes along. He's going to have an opportunity at getting the race win, but so is this guy, Thomas Troxel, up to 3rd. Great run for Troxel here tonight. And he's a driver who's midway through the standings right now as he's in a battle with Zaidel. These are 2 longtime veterans of the series going after it there for the 3rd position. Looks like Eric Drew may be one of the goers right now. He almost went around off the front wing of John Stewart. Stewart moving through the field very well for the Wisconsin Speedworks team. And the brother of the owner of that team is right behind John Stewart with Logan Williams. Of course, Andrew Williams, the owner of John Stewart's car. And now Logan Williams looking to move his way into the top 5 if he can get around John Stewart for that position. Eric Drew stuck in the outside lane, and as these tires wear out, that outside lane is losing a lot of grip. And these guys are definitely struggling out there. Olvera getting around, Noah Clifton peeking on Eric Drew, and Cole Raymond definitely looking pretty sporty right now in that 95.
Yeah, and as we're talking here, Eric Drew has lost 5 to 6 spots after that little incident where he washed up the racetrack. So it really shows how valuable the inside lane is, as he might have a peek to the inside here, maybe not, going into turn 1.
Got a shot on Cole Raymond, but could not quite get there. As Justin Zaidel, I do believe, is closing in on the gearbox of Trey Smith. Troxel got around Zaidel for a moment, then Zaidel scooted away. And here comes Zaidel trying to get around Trey Smith for the 2nd position, but right now it's a 2-second lead for Roy Ribbleton in the 33 machine. And these guys have this thing wired to perfection tonight. We'll have to see, though, if Zidell can get around Trey Smith, if he can eat away at that lead as this green flag run rolls along. Now, we're coming close to the cycle of pit stops here tonight. Probably around lap 48, we'll see these guys start to peak down, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit after, but it will be past halfway here in this Virginia 100K when we see these drivers come down the pit lane for service. They're going to need it, though. These tires are starting to wear out, and of course they're going to have to service the fuel tank as well for the end of the race because they're not going to be able to make it on the tank of fuel they have right now. Olvera slipping back in the 1 machine. He's now down to the 7th position and under fire from Cole Raymond for the 8th position. And then you have the 94 machine of Noah Clifton here moving his way through the field as well as Eric Drew. Just inside the top 10, Bradley Bradshaw looking to close in on him. Got more battling here as Trey Smith loses another position. He's falling back now to the 4th position as Troxel takes the 3rd place away.
Smith still all over the gearbox of Troxel through 3 and 4. And these guys get so dang close to one another. So the 79's going to have a peek down the inside into 1. And they're still side by side. They might have just touched there.
Very tight racing between these two drivers. Watch out for John Stewart. There's all these guys, I'm looking at guys like John Stewart, like Cole Raymond. They have really come through the field very well late in the going. They have long-run cars. And if they have a good pit stop here, once we get the cycle to start here in a few laps, they could find themselves in a battle for the race win. But the problem is Roy Ribbleton has nearly put 3 seconds on the field right now in this one. Zidell trying to close in, but he's really not making any gains in that 23 as Troxel got a little close there with Trey Smith for 3rd. We're just going to have to see. The cycle of pit stops is definitely going to determine whether Roy Ribbleton wins this race or not, but this 33 machine is looking very quick. And not only that, Roy Ribbleton is looking for his first career win on the channel here tonight. He's never gone the victory lane, as he's going to come right down now. And that may be a good call. As long as the caution does not come out here, he may be in position to win this race. But coming down early, doing the short pit, he's the only one doing that. He's got to be careful to make sure a caution doesn't come out because these guys are racing really hard for what is now the race lead. Comes Trey Smith and John Stewart. Logan Williams down as well, and a lot more guys coming down this time. But Roy Ribbleton, would imagine he's going to get a significant advantage here, don't you think?
Yeah, he'll have those fresher tires a lot sooner and more fuel to get to the finish. One thing, with this track being so short, pit road is crucial. You don't want to make any silly mistakes.
He was a bit slow there off the exit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to lose some time, especially on such a short track. We'll see where Ribbleton cycles out. I don't know if he's going to retain the lead.
He might not. We'll just have to see. He does have the advantage of coming down a lap before everybody else, so he has a little bit more time to warm up his tires and gain some speed. Trey Smith going to be the first driver off of the second group there. John Stewart, however, right behind him, and they may jump Ribbleton here. Either way, Ribbleton lost a lot of time. That's tight there between Stewart and Ribbleton for what is now second. And Trey Smith, it's not fully cycled through yet. I think Troxel just came down. I think Troxel stayed out a decent amount of laps right there. Here comes Zidell. Oh, this could get dicey. Zidell coming out right ahead of Ribbleton and Stewart. And now Troxel in the 70, or should I say the 42 machine. He's now coming off the pit lane. And you know what? I think the later pit may have been the advantage because Troxel is going to clear Trey Smith as Ribbleton has the fresher tires, has the warmer tires, I should say, at the moment. He's cutting through these guys pretty quick, but he lost a near 3-second lead on that exchange. And Thomas Troxel takes the race lead after pit stops here in the Virginia 100K.
Yeah, and Troxel, taking advantage of spending less time in the pit box because you don't have to put as much fuel in it. Did I see a car sideways in their pit box?
You may have. Are they still sideways in their pit box? 3 wide. Might want to watch for this. 3 wide here is like 4 wide at Daytona. Bradley Bradshaw, Brad Stover, and Jay Knapp. And that got a little edgy back in there. Now we're at a point in the race where if we were to get a caution, we would be fine. Cole Raymond's not fine. He's a lap down. 3 laps down. He may have been the one who was sideways on his pit stall right there. And I know you mentioned that. If we saw it, you see it in the corner of your screen. Hopefully we made an edit for that. But he's 3 laps down now, as he was top 10 before that cycle began. And it looks like our last winner here in the Haas IndyCar Series is not going to go back-to-back like Chris Reynolds did earlier on. It's a tough break there for Nathan Orman Motorsports. But what is not a tough break is Thomas Troxell and Trey Smith. These guys are right on each other here, and Trey Smith may just get this race victory here tonight.
Yeah, Troxell had a fast car all night, but that 79 has been up front longer than he has, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And Trey Smith, Outer Island Motorsports, what can I say? This team is lights out when it comes to the Haas IndyCar Series. And part of me wishes it wasn't like that because, you know, it's my team, and it's not a good optic, but Trey Smith doesn't care. He's got a good optic in front of him. 1 car to pass for the race lead. And we'll have to see if he can get the Troxell, but Troxell, a very strong driver. This Troxell has been around a long time, and he knows his stuff. I mean, so does Trey Smith. Of course, Trey Smith is an Indy 250 champion, but Thomas Troxell only 1 win in the Haas IndyCar Series. Looking for his 2nd win in the series and his 12th career win. Actually, no, 13th career win on the channel. Wasn't too long ago he won the Wawa Cup Series race at Rockingham, so kind of, this track isn't like Rockingham. It's shaped like Rockingham, but like I said, he's got a knack for these short tracks. And this number 42, the number 42, went to victory lane in this race last year when it was a part of NS Racing, and Elijah Gordon was driving it, but it's a different team now, Crown Ultra Racing and Thomas Troxell. And all he's got to do is get to the end and hold off Trey Smith and maybe even Roy Ribbleton, because Ribbleton is still in this thing, and so is Justin Zeidel. It's going to be fascinating to see if these guys close in, but right now the gap looks to be stable. And Troxell holding these guys off. How about Noah Clifton? Top 10 run for him right now there for DM Motorsports. Eric Drew is there. Logan Williams started dead last. He is 8th. Then it's Olvera and Luna Lone in the top 10 here on lap 58.
That's side by side through turn 1 and 2. Man, these cars get so close to one another, and I thought those 2 guys touched coming off of 2.
It's a tight one there between Ace Garcia, Tanner Parton. Landon Smith Jr. and the 73 of Christian Vargas are a lap down, and of course Cole Raymond with his issue, but other than that, everyone's still on the lead lap. Of course, we saw Christian Master with what apparently turned out to be a valve issue earlier on. He's out of the race, but we remain green. Caution-free, 60 laps in. And it's good to see a clean race here on the oval. Had a pretty clean race in the California 100. I think we had the 1 wreck that occurred midway through, but other than that, that was a pretty clean race. It's been a pretty, well, I say that. We had Coda last week, and everyone kept on wrecking off of turn 8 in that one, turn number 9. That was a bit of a trouble spot for those guys. But I appreciate how clean these guys have been running this season here in the Haas IndyCar Series, and hopefully we can keep that trend up as the season goes along. And Trey Smith wants to keep a trend up. He is right on the gearbox now of Thomas Troxell here with over 20 laps to go. Will he be able to get around here for the race win? It looks like he may do it right now. A really good power down to the inside, and he's going to have a nose heading in the 1.
Still side by side through 1 and 2. Trey Smith for the lead down the back straightaway. They're still side by side. Troxell does not want to give this up this late in the race, but the 79 is going to clear the 42.
And Trey Smith almost won the championship last year, as we mentioned. Very strong last year in the Haas IndyCar Series, and I know he wants to get back up there and fight for a championship. And that right there, if he wins this race, that'll put him. It could put him top 5 in the points heading in the Lime Rock, which is 2 weeks from now. That's going to be a fun one. That's the shortest road course of the season for the Haas IndyCar Series. We'll have 34 laps there around that 1.5-mile road course in Lime Rock, Connecticut. But right now the focus is here at Richmond with under 20 laps to go, and Trey Smith holding these guys off for the moment. Troxell's going to try to get back to him, but that's 79 starting to pull away just a little bit now. Justin Zeidel also closing in, and Roy Ribbleton in the battle here with lapped car Cole Raymond, and he's losing time to Eric Drew and Noah Clifton. But I think the win's going to go to either Trey Smith, Thomas Troxell, or maybe Zeidel if he can find something here near the end. If Troxell and Trey Smith get side by side again, that can close the 23 back in on those 2 leaders, and he could have an opportunity at the race win, but we're going to have to find out and see. Been a clean race so far. as we got under 20 laps to go here in the Virginia 100K.
Yeah, and Troxel has not lost that much ground. He's still within a couple car lengths of the 79, so he's definitely not out of this yet. There's still single file.
Absolutely. Troxel's doing all he can to keep up with the 79, but Trey Smith obviously put this car on the pole last night in single car qualifying. And not only did he do that, he did it by 2/10 on the field. That 79 was fast all weekend long. It was surprising that he lost the lead when he did. He did seem to be losing the speed on the long run, which could be interesting here. I mean, we came down just past halfway. Once we get to the end of this race, Troxel could have an advantage on Trey Smith, and that's going to be interesting because Troxel may have a better long-run car, and it looks like he had a good lap there, and he might be closing back in. We'll just have to see if Troxel can, in fact, seal the deal on Trey Smith. Seidel still about a second and a half behind. We're going to focus here with our two race leaders as Troxel really gained that last lap.
Yeah, and about this point in the run, last run, we saw Troxel, his car really came alive. So, to your point, that 45 definitely still in this thing.
Number 42 there for Crown Ultra Racing.
Or 42,
I know
sorry.
Roberto Crown Jr. would love to get an owner win. And the opportunity is right there for them to get it with Thomas Troxel. Eric Drew looking pretty fast right now as Roy Ribbleton continues to fall back. Noah Clifton out of the inside for a top 5. But Eric Drew looking to get his second straight podium here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Yeah, this guy, don't sleep on Eric Drew. Past 2 races have been excellent for him. And he's right there, pounding down that 23 of Justin Seidel. Meanwhile, Troxel still within range, but only 10 laps left, and it takes a couple of laps to round up a guy to make a pass for the race lead here. And Trey Smith, better lap that time. I have a feeling this 79 might have the advantage here tonight. And battle here for third. Eric Drew looking to close in on Justin Seidel. Either way, great run for Seidel. I think Seidel may take the points lead after this one is all said and done. Chris Reynolds, 18th right now, not at all what he has experienced. I mean, obviously he wrecked out at Coda, but the first 3 races for Chris Reynolds were absolute magic for that team. Not at all the case for him here tonight. And I have a feeling that Troxel's starting to lose the speed here on this 42, and Trey Smith has this thing wired in. But we did see that mechanical issue with Christian Master. It ain't over till it's over. Lap 77 of 83 here. Next time by, we'll have 6 laps to go in the Virginia 100K. Eric Drew there for third.
Yeah. Eric Drew getting a run into turn 1 on Seidel. Seidel up the racetrack, and they're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Christian Master, if he did not have that incident, or no, who it, I'm name dropping these guys all
Chris
wrong
Reynolds.
Tonight. Chris Reynolds, if he did not have that incident on pit road, I'm very sorry.
Cole
he
Raymond,
would be up here.
Cole Raymond. I thought you were referencing Chris Reynolds. Cole Raymond, yeah. That 95 was another guy who was up there, like you mentioned.
Yeah, he would have been a contender tonight for sure, and I'm very sorry. You know what? They're all C names.
Yeah.
And you know what? I am terrible with names.
Yeah,
so.
well, we got 2 Christians, we got a Chris, and then we got Cole, and we got a Caleb. So many similar letters right there. Noah Clifton, great run for him, top 5. As it's now 3 laps to go for Trey Smith, and he's got over a second on Thomas Troxel. I don't think Trey Smith is going to lead the most laps in this race, but it's going to be close to a maximum points day for him here, and that's going to be huge in terms of the championship.
Yeah, 79, unless something drastic happens. He's just got to bring it home these last couple of laps. But what a heartbreak for Ribbleton. 3-second lead. And just messed up the pit strategy. Still going to get a respectable top 10 looking like.
Here we go, white flag in the air in the Virginia 100K. Another caution-free race here at Richmond. And it looks like Trey Smith is going to pull it off for Otter Island Motorsports. It's going to be the team's 3rd win of the season in only 5 races. Will these guys be stopped at any point? Well, it's not going to be tonight. Trey Smith wins at Richmond in the Virginia 100K. Troxel, Eric Drew with his 2nd straight podium. And then you have Justin Seidel finishing 4th, and Noah Clifton rounding out the top 5. That was an intense race from start to finish. 83 straight laps here at Richmond under this tight racetrack. But in the end, the 2022 Indy 250 winner of Trey Smith gets his 4th career win in the Haas IndyCar Series. And I believe his 5th overall on the channel here tonight. No, I'm wrong about that.
Tonight's a night for us. Tonight's a getting things wrong night for both of us. But what a great race!
7 career wins on the channel, and then 3 in the series. His 4th in the Haas IndyCar Series, and his 8th overall on the channel. We're a little off tonight, but Trey Smith was not off tonight. Gets the job done here at Richmond in a quick race. That thing flew right by, and I told you guys at the top of the show, 83 laps seems like a long time, but when they're clocking under 20 seconds a lap constantly here at Richmond, it's over in a flash. The shortest track on the circuit. That was definitely a great race, and pit strategy obviously came into play. Roy Ribbleton had a 3-second lead when that cycle began, and he finished 3 seconds behind the race leader. And pit road proved to be pivotal here tonight. And, you know, it played out a lot like a road course race in a way, because the road courses, we've seen the pit strategy really affect who gets to victory lane, and that is almost pretty much what happened here tonight at Richmond.
Yeah, pit strategy definitely came into play and won. Well, not necessarily won this race. Trey Smith did drive up there and pull away, but it certainly lost the race for Roy Ribbleton. So just execution and getting things right.
It's definitely interesting to see how that all ended up shaking out, but I got to give a shout-out to guys like Logan Williams, who started dead last in this race. Hey, Jay finished midway through the field there in 14th after starting 25th. Good games here at Richmond for him. Not as bad of a season for Jay Knapp as it was last year, which is great to see for that team. Hopefully they find some more success going on throughout the season. And also Noah Clifton, another driver who's not had a lot of strong runs. And regardless of the fact, even though Roy Ribbleton did not get the race victory here in this race, he still got his best finish of the season by far, and definitely a good, strong run there for the Dutch Atlantis team in the 33. The race was all over the place. It really was, in fact, all over the place. But in the end, Trey Smith, definitely one of the strongest drivers in this series. No doubt about it. Won 3 times last year. Got the win at Riverside last year. Obviously won the Indianapolis 250. And then I think he went on to win Road America right after he won the Indianapolis 250 as well, if my math serves me correct. Well, it's not math that I have to worry about, it's just memory. But that was a while ago, and I think those were the 3 races he won last year, and 2 of those racetracks still on the schedule for Trey Smith. Obviously, I know he'll be defending his Indy 250 championship this year, and then Road America 3 weeks after that. It's definitely going to be a race to watch out for Trey Smith. But even Lime Rock Park 2 weeks from now, I feel like a lot of these guys who have been in the series a long time are going to have the upper hand at Lime Rock Park. That is a very tight road course, and in 2 weeks' time we'll be going there for the Grand Prix of Lime Rock. How do you think that race is going to play out with it being the shortest road course on the circuit?
Oh, that's another track that is difficult to pass, and there could be some calamity because of it. It's a very narrow track, and we might see another pit strategy race. We'll just have to wait and see.
It's going to be a fun one. Watch out for Angel Olvera, who's won that race twice. This is, as a matter of fact, I think those are the only 2 race victories he has ever gained on the channel. Yeah, he has one more win somewhere else. But his only 2 IndyCar wins have come at Lime Rock Park. He's a 2-time winner of the Grand Prix of Lime Rock. That's his wheelhouse right there. And we'll have to see what the driver number 1 can do, along with everybody else. 2 weeks from now, that'll be, I think, April 16th, if I'm doing that correctly. April 17th. It's April 3rd tonight. April 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG, the channel. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for watching once again. Big week here in the Wawa Cup Series as we head to Bristol, Wawa Sprint Series, Wednesday night from there. And then, of course, Saturday at, I think it's noon Eastern Time. Pretty sure it's only 2 11:30 starts, and Bristol is not one of them. It's the Krispy Kreme 500 at Bristol, and who knows, that race may play out similarly to this one. We're just going to have to find out and see. But a lot of great racing coming up here on AG, the channel. And once again, a huge thank you to all you guys. We reached 1,000 subscribers a little over a week ago. And I can't thank you guys enough for all the support over the years. I've been doing this for almost 8 years officially. Actually, we had the 8-year anniversary of the first ever race officially on this channel on Saturday, and we've been doing this for over 8 years now officially. So great to still be here and doing these races. And a huge thank you to you, Micah, for joining me once again. And hopefully we'll have you in the booth as well for Lime Rock Part 2 weeks from now. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Trey Smith on his race victory here at the Richmond Raceway. And we will see you guys 2 weeks' time for the Grand Prix of Lime Rock in the 6th race of the season. Here are the points for the Haas IndyCar Series after 5 races. And I will see you guys later.